Welcome everybody to Polytopia Daily, where we go over all the information for Polytopia. We are the number one podcast for Polytopia, and we thank you for making us number one. Peter, how's it been going? How have you been on this Polytopia day?
no, I'm not doing
I
that.
thought maybe we might try like some episodes. It's like
No,
Polytopia focused,
no, I don't think so.
just like Polytopia branded.
Pretty good game though. Pretty
Well,
good.
what happens is that you get this sort of like
Are you liking it?
this synergistic effect. Do I like it? I do like that they take themselves very seriously. I like to have it like an ELO rating, so it's sort of like, oh, this is like chess, like modern chess.
Yeah, it's
Um,
actually considered to be a modern chess. That's what it's. That's what people talk about
you
it
mean
as.
by the creators and the people who play the game? Sure, but not by the chess community.
No, well, because they're old fashioned.
They're TradFi, not
That's right.
DeFi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm pretty much hoping that. Well, it doesn't do I have to play special tribes if I'm gonna survive at all in multiplayer?
One, no, and two, we're not talking about Polytopia.
I thought we could talk about whatever we want.
Whatever we want. That's right.
So what's going to happen is
No,
that
you don't.
I'm
You don't have
going
to
to
play
speak
special
about
tribes.
Polytopia, and then you can sit silently, and that itself will be its own type of
You
content.
don't have to play special tribes. Just that you suck at the game because you haven't played it. But once you learn,
That's fine.
strategy,
I'd rather that be the case than
most people don't play special tribes, except for the douchebags who play Semanti,
Clementi, right?
the insect, and then the douchebags who play Polaris.
But why is it a problem? I was reading this in forums. Are they just OP?
Yeah, they're OP. I mean, here's the thing. Like, of course you can beat them. It's just that if you don't know that they're around, that's where the problem happens because they expand and spread so fast. They can have creatures that run across the water. And then Polaris is a problem when you're dealing with a water world.
Right,
Because those people don't need boats. They just
right.
freeze
I
the
just
water.
skate
And they
around.
go.
That's who I play now. I play the snow people.
But if you just start playing assuming that you're going to have Semantis or Polaris, then you'll change your strategy. Basically, you can't play at all like you play against the computer. You have to hurry your ass up and get defense. So you have to
Don't you always have to play that way?
what?
Don't you always have to hurry and get your either turtle or go on the attack?
No. It depends.
But you never know who you're playing against.
You never who you're playing against, but if you're playing a game with 10 other players, there's going to be enough between you and like the player that you're going to be attacked is going to be super weak when you attack. So there's these little scuffles. But if you're playing against 3 people on a large map, well then yeah, by the time Semantis gets to you, they're like super powerful. But then you have to come up with different strategies. Like for Might, you have to capture all the capitals. You don't have to capture all the buildings, only the capitals. So you have to play to your strengths and whatever. I don't play I only play Illyrian, however it's pronounced, because I find it's the hardest to win with Illyrian. So I always play the one that's the hardest because it's just the more challenge, the more fun it is. The giants, I just find it makes it too easy. Because if you get your
Really?
giant early, oh yeah, you get your giant early to somebody who's not ready, they can't.
Right.
It's over, and you can get the giant pretty quickly. If with my Illyrian, I get up to the giant level, I get an egg that's completely useless, almost entirely useless to me. I can use the egg to capture things, but I can't do anything, and it's super fragile for 3 turns. Then it becomes a baby dragon, which is useful but vulnerable for 3 turns, and then I get a dragon for 3 turns. So that's 12,
And that
15
dragon
turns.
does the dragon only survive for 3 turns?
No, the dragon survives indefinitely until it's killed.
Yeah,
But
that
it
dragon
doesn't.
is OP. It's like an archer, but super boat. Like it could fly and then shoot you from wherever.
Oh yeah, but 2 boats, two ships. I can't get my dragon anywhere close to ships.
Right. And if you lose it, then you lose 6 turns in order to get that dragon again.
Oh yeah, then you're really at a huge disadvantage. So obviously it's an advantage in a lot of ways. You don't need boats. You can fly across the water and all that stuff. But by itself, it's pretty defenseless. And if you have a giant, it takes how many breaths of fire to destroy a giant? You're gonna have trouble. So it's good for certain things, but it's not OP, and it takes
And the
so
boat has splash damage, so that's super useful.
the new
And so does
boats.
the giant, and the giant
Yeah,
has splash damage.
yeah. So the changes that they made, with the in the new version made it a lot better. So the boat with splash damage is like having a catapult you can drive across the water.
Yeah,
Super useful, and it really evens out the game that anybody could position that correctly. It will rework
yeah.
for you.
And you could
Um,
defend yourself better. Like it's like
yeah, totally. Then you have rogues, which I really love
yeah, they
the
just pop up out of nowhere,
yeah.
but then they disappear. Is that it?
No, so you send a spy or whatever it's called into a base. It can only attack the base. It can't attack any units. And when it attacks, it causes a riot in that city,
Right.
and you have defectors. And if you don't have a unit inside of your city, then it places a bunch of units around and one in your city. But if you do have something in your city that's strong enough, then it just attacks it, it weakens it, and then you have. But it also steals like 7 stars from the person to
Oh,
give to you. So it kind of gives you an advantage there. So the way you discover those spies is that you have to move
yeah,
to a
no,
square that it's
right,
on.
no,
So
yeah.
you have to kind of be aware about what's going
You
on.
have to
Now it
look for
takes
little eyes and be like, hey, they're seeing something.
That's right. So there's ways to even win against big things if you can be strategic. Now
Right.
it's like the real world, it's risky and all that stuff. And you have to invest in order to get them because they cost 8 stars, which is expensive, and you have to upgrade 3 times to get them. But it just adds a dimensionality to the game that's fun. You also have they got rid of the trade house mechanics. So it used to be that you put a trade house near ports and multiple ports, and now you're raking in the dough. But now it's not that way anymore. Just putting a trade house near the port doesn't really do that for you. So they've evened out the dollars per hour there. And what else is good?
Well,
Uh,
I like that well, I had totally forgotten this was already part of the original one, but I totally forgot that when you the cost for the tech tree changes. So if you buy your stuff all at
oh yeah,
once,
absolutely.
it's less expensive.
But you have
And
less
what
units.
order you buy them in. And I forgot that the lumber mill on the forge gives more population depending on how many mountains or forests are next to that forge or
That's right,
lumber mill.
exactly. And um,
And then later on, you can plant trees and
yeah,
and
depending on the tribe you have, and farms no longer give you no docks no longer give you two
just
population. They
one.
only give you one, so they're not as. It used to be that if you're by the water, the advantage was pretty big.
Right.
So they've evened out the game playing. I really find we have some new units like the the charger boat that can travel far and crashes into and docks. So that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah. Anyway, it's strategy. It's learning how to. You really have to care about your resource management, how you're putting the structures together, making use of the territory that you're in. You got to like. Once I look at a territory, I know okay, this
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
I have to
This is what
kind
I
of
have to
aim for.
focus on. Yeah, yeah. There's 3
Um,
mountains here. It's a mountain game now.
that's right.
Yeah.
If you put your unit on a mountain,
Well, Peter, I just gonna stop you there.
yeah,
I know you really want to turn this into a Polytopia podcast, but we should move on to something else because it's
yeah, sure, sure. Well, his, his last words, and I really want. I don't know. I feel like every time I have a conversation, generally speaking, I only talk about things that really matter to me, and
right.
it's very frustrating when people don't. And and people often forget to this person might be gone. Like, what are you doing? Um, what I hate is, and why I created the last words. Actually, where's my book? I have it down there somewhere. But the reason I created the last words is that I found myself
This is
doing
what you look
this.
for?
Yeah, that's right. Last words book. Why are you mirrored?
Am I?
Yeah, you got to change that around. I hate mirrored because it changes. It changes reality. Am I mirrored?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Let's see if I'm mirrored. This is not going to work. Yeah. So because you keep thinking, oh, what are going to be my last words? What am I going to say on my deathbed? What am I going to? But most people,
That's gonna be my last word.
most people are not going to get last words, and even if you do, you got one shot. I mean, talk about a performance you've got to nail. People, oh, when I'm in that, then I'll say. No,
Don't think about it. No.
no.
What I
Get all
want
the
is that
last
I want to be around when someone else passes away, but alone with nobody else.
so you can make up their last
So
words.
then, no. So then they say their last words, and they're like, "Oh, tell whoever," and then I don't say anything, and then when I die, that's what I say. That's what I say. So I'll die knowing that I took someone's last words, and everyone's like, "Oh God, that was so profound." It's on my tombstone. That guy's tombstone says like nothing. Maybe it says Polytopia 2024 or something like that.
So your
Maybe
last
like
words are going to
Polytopia.
be, Julie, look under the staircase.
That's right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, stealing someone's last words. I would like to make up people's last words. If somebody died in front of me, then I just tell them, what did they say anything before they died? Yes. They said they were really afraid. And this hurts a lot. And they wish you were there. It's really
Why
sad
weren't
that
you
you were
there?
there.
Why is it so cold? Why did I die alone? Oh, rough.
This
Rough.
is way worse
Yeah.
than I thought. Way worse than I thought. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. Then he died. Really? Did he?
No, I think my last words writes itself. I have to say, swing away, Meryl. Meryl, swing away. I just want you to be sitting there going through the movie and like, he must have been trying to say something. He must have been trying to say something. Oh, why are you walking around with a baseball bat? I don't know. I think it's something that Tom was talking about.
My last words are going to be, don't wish me back with the Dragon Balls.
That's good.
Whatever you do,
That's
don't
good.
wish me back. Yeah.
I love in the Dragon Ball parody one where Gohan is like, my father's never around, and even when he can be around, he's not around, and if he's forced to be around, he's trying to kill me. So it's like, and he's like, oh, your dad's choosing to be dead. What? What do you mean? He's just choosing to be dead. He wants to train, he wants to do more, and being alive is just a problem. Oh, okay. So good. So good.
Well, to me in Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
once I found out there was an afterlife, there's no consequence.
it. Yeah. To be dead. You're going to be there anyway.
Yeah, and it's
so
great.
fine.
It's
And
great.
Yeah.
Everybody, besides the worst people, everybody goes to heaven. So
Yeah.
and you don't have to do anything special.
Have you
in
seen
life.
Have you watched the new Last Airbender?
No, I'm waiting for to watch it with Sam. Are all the episodes out?
So good. I think so. So good. They did such a great job.
That's what I heard.
And like, how is it going to still stay like campy and fun, yet be like this sort of like gritty adult thing? And it's like what you would have wanted a live action Dragon Ball to be
Right.
like you'd want it to be this way. And the powers that they do, and they use it like it's not like,
Right.
oh, this is the scene where they had the budget
Right.
for this thing. No, it's whenever
Right.
it makes sense. Just like in the TV
Oh,
show.
good.
And so it's like if some guy's working over there and they're building a building, they're building it with the earthbending stuff. And if Ang wants to just grab something over there, he uses the air stuff, and so it's like really fun. But it's still that sort of like campy way of going about it, and it has exactly the same feeling in that way.
Hmm.
But if you're an adult watching it, just absolutely perfect.
Nice.
Nailed it.
I can't wait to watch it. I love The Last Airbender. Man, Tom, I am so nervous about posting my idea to Cardano.
Why?
Because what if it doesn't go well?
What do you mean? Then nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's just a public destruction of my idea.
What?
You know how
Why?
people can be.
It's got to go to the public at some point.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it, huh? Does it? Yeah, no, I know. It's just a little nerve-wracking.
I mean, Dr. Phil's already doing your Agora idea, so you better get
Dr.
to it.
Phil's doing Agora?
I believe
What
so.
do you mean?
You start
Paying
on a
people
whole
to talk?
network. That's about debate and paying people to
Really?
debate.
Well,
I believe so,
fantastic.
yeah.
Because I actually didn't want to do that anymore. I'm not really into debates. I mean, I'm into debates, but not doesn't solve anything. I feel like everybody, like, I'm so frustrated that even the smartest people that I know, they they never address the problem on the level above.
Right.
It's like, oh, is abortion wrong? Okay, well, first of all, the problem is money, and
Right.
the choices that people are like, that's the problem. Oh, the
Yeah.
problem is no, the problem is actually the economy, and that we don't actually have a true economy because then all the
Yeah.
incentives
They never
are
go, hey,
well,
you want to get rid of abortion? Offer them $1 million for every kid. Well, we can't afford $1 million for every kid. Okay, so how can we afford $1 million for every kid? Do you
that's
think a
right.
kid is worth $1 million? Do you think a kid is
That's right.
worth $1 million? Yes. Okay, so then how are we
That's
get
right.
$1 million every kid?
That's right.
It's not
$1 million
possible.
or $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
because Xi
why not?
Jinping is sitting there with a bunch of gold right there. So there's billions of dollars everywhere. Okay, there's billions of dollars everywhere.
There's
They're giving
trillions.
away stuff on, they're giving away money on reality TV shows. We can't. There's money. There's money out there. They printed trillions of dollars for the COVID crisis, but you don't want to save a bunch of children? Give them $1 million.
Well,
But
even
what if
if you
they're
did,
just going to sit around and not doing anything? They're going to pump out baby after baby. That's what they want.
yeah,
So do it. Give them the
yeah.
million.
I
I'd be
heard
perfectly fine with that. If they're like, we're taking the tax dollars and we're not doing all this other stuff, we're not starting wars anywhere, we're not doing giving the lobbyists, not any corruption, we're just giving $1 million to every freaking family who wants a kid,
even if it's not $1 million, even if it's
or
$100,000 or
whatever the idea is.
$50,000.
Yeah, whatever the
But
idea is.
what I think is, even if you don't even like that, just create an environment that just make it so easy for someone to say, yes, I'll carry the baby.
That's right.
Like people, okay, we no longer live in a society, maybe we'll get to that one day, but we don't live in a society where there's 3 generations living in a house where everybody has support and all that stuff. So you have to create those environments. And yeah, there are people doing that, but not on the level where it's just like no brainer Amazon version of baby stuff. Like, it's all expensive and complicated, and how you deal with that, and the giving birth in hospitals, and like none of it is. It's just like, have the baby in this garbage society.
Right.
Like, okay, well, no, fuck
Okay,
you.
whatever.
Are you gonna kill the baby? Well, yeah.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm doing.
And you can whatever. I'm not gonna call it that or whatever, but so just make it undeniable. Make it like you're like every woman out there should be like, I gotta find a way to get a baby, like to have a
That's right.
baby. Like, it's so
That's right.
amazing. It's so cool to, and I don't understand why that's not the topic of the conversation. Just like the war conversation, I'm kind of like Ben Shapiro. He talks about war, and you're like, okay, I get that you think war is whatever needs to be done, blah blah, but couldn't we simultaneously also highly emphasize, find ways? How would we resolve conflicts without war? Like, who are the famous diplomats? We don't who are their name? Who are they? Where are the
Right.
people like, oh, they're focused so much on resolving conflict without war? They're always like, well, when war is necessary. Okay, but why is it necessary?
Right. Yeah.
Why
Why
did
do we
we
know
get
the
to this
general's
point?
name, but we don't know the diplomat's name?
Exactly. They're like, well, we need to be strong enough that people won't mess with us. Okay, fine. But also, there should be as much or more effort put on amazing diplomacy, incredible environment, a better story where people were like, we're not going to go to war with America. That's crazy. They're the best people on the planet. No, you want to be the most war people on the planet so that nobody messes with you. Okay, then you're the big dude in the prison. You're begging for it. Like, how is that the
Well,
society
I've
we
never
live in?
understood why you'll hear this occasionally. Someone be like, "Well, they're not sending their kids over go to the war,"
Right.
and you go, "Okay, so the next step,
Just make the law.
is that okay? If you guys want to go to war, go to war. You and your children all have to go.
That's right. First. That's right.
You have to go first. You front.
Not
You're there.
not in
You're
the
there.
back rooms where
Exactly.
your
That's right.
kids go first, and
That's right.
then we can go to war.
Yeah.
I
Or
there's no
if 10% of people, if 10% of the army die or whatever it is, then you guys get executed. Like, it's like,
That's
okay,
right.
but we needed to do it. Like, they lay down their lives. I'm willing to lay down our lives. Now I know that's
Totally.
going to would generate a whole thing of now you're going to raise people so that they go be the people who go get who do that. Fine, and that'll be a different problem. But the conversation is never then. Okay, we go to war. Send George Bush Jr. and George Bush Jr. doesn't come back. A million Americans die. A million American and one dies too. Because him and his kids are gone.
That's right.
They never had that conversation. Send your children. No, don't send your children. Send them.
That's right. That's right.
Send them.
Send them and their
Send
children.
them.
Well,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah,
Then
all of them.
see if they vote for war.
That's right.
Like then see. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why they like. I'm tired of dealing with the problem on the level of the problem, and even the smartest people that I trust and respect solve it there. They're not going to the higher level. It's almost
Well, it makes it that
so.
I can't watch Dave Smith anymore. I can't really watch any of
Oh
his
yeah.
stuff because
I
it's
mean, I watch
so
it for
painful.
entertainment, but yeah.
Well, I find it so painful to be like, so you're going to spend an hour on this problem, and the arguments you're going to make are all the same arguments that were unconvincing to the people that you need to convince.
That's right.
You're just going to sound coherent to the people who already agree with you.
Right.
You could not imagine anything more. You sort of like these are the same people who will sit down and watch a TV show or whatever of two people arguing, and they go, "Oh, that's ridiculous! Like he's not saying the thing that makes her understand, her that, whatever." And you go, "Okay, now multiply that by 100,000. Why are you saying exactly the same thing? He's saying what
right.
he believes. She's saying what he believes, but he has to say what she believes, and she has to say what he believes.
That's right. You have the steel man
How does
the
it not gonna work?
arguments. Totally.
What's the number one thing in a relationship? Communication. Okay, so why isn't this working? Oh, no. It's communication. It's the same thing. And then they act with this level of sort of like, oh, I don't understand how they can't see it. How they can't see this connection. Why can't you understand it? I tell the kids all the time. They'll be like, why did this thing happen? Why did the teacher do this? Why did that person do that? Because they thought it would be better for them, either because they were getting something good or they were fleeing from something bad.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like, because they believed they perceived it to be in their best interest.
That's right.
And that is
Whatever
why
it is.
everyone does 100% of what they do.
100%.
There
That's
is
right. There's
no exception.
Even if they're crazy
They
in that crazy things, they think that they're doing it right.
That's right. So
Yeah.
there's no mystery. Yeah. Oh, so you're trying to kill a baby? No, I don't think it's a baby. So
Yeah.
why are we?
Or I think it's murder, and it seems like we're okay with murder under all kinds of different
That's right.
circumstances, and so I'm gonna murder.
Yeah, it's so
Right?
crazy.
You let all those people out of prison that you've been keeping them in there for the rest of their lives, and then we can talk.
That's right.
No, they can't. Then fine. Then I mean, then I'm gonna have this abortion.
They act like people are just desperate to kill babies.
That's right. Yes, the baby killers.
And you're like,
this is human life.
oh, it's because this baby is inconvenient to you. Oh, okay. Who is out there like, I can't wait to kill? Like, my God, what I want to do today is kill a baby.
When I hear like the Ben Shapiro's of the world talk about it, they talk about it like they don't step over homeless people to get to their front door. Ben Shapiro talks about like we had people in tents all the way up to our door in California, so we had to leave. And he doesn't seem to understand. And then it would be like, you need a good night's sleep with Helix Matrix, and they come back and abortion is the problem. Human life matters. You fled a place where they're all dying. You're rich. You could do something to help them. You're like, all right, I'm getting out of here.
Tom, he created razors, shavers. They create tumblers, bars. You tell me you can't monetize fixing this homeless problem? Holy shit, make it into a reality TV show. Get some content out of it.
Right.
I bet you there's a way to solve this problem besides why won't the government do something? I mean, I don't even.
I thought you were for limited government and for individual autonomy,
and
that the churches would do it and the charities and community centers. Okay, so then do it. Fund those things and make those things
that's right.
happen.
And they're like,
So that
you might
we
go,
can.
oh, there are already people doing that. Okay, then there should be 10 times more people doing it, 100 times more people. Oh, well, how are you gonna? Well, how do you when you solve a problem, there's a financial gain to it. So you're the business guy. Figure out the business things. At least try. Put it out there to the
Right.
public. We will give you $100,000 if you figure out how we can solve the homeless problem. Why?
That's right.
Oh no. So why aren't you taking action? I don't get it. And then if you did that and then also said the things you're saying, you'd have so much more weight
Yeah, so
behind
much
what you're talking about.
yeah,
Like, I really
100%,
don't want you to have an abortion. This is why, and this is what we're doing in order to help you. That's way better than you're evil.
And this is why you would do it, given the fact that we don't have those things there.
That's right.
But can we agree that, like, if I could get you those things, would
That's
you
right.
consider that? Oh
That's
yeah, I
right.
would actually.
Totally.
Peter, I've never heard of one woman who
Me
goes
either.
like, "Oh no, I wouldn't consider it." Oh
Yeah,
well,
that's
yeah,
right.
under that circumstance, I would.
Yeah, that's right.
because the alcohol is just so expensive, or I don't want to do it alone, or opportunities are taken away from me. And it's like, what if you were held as a hero? What if you had all the things available to you? What if you had all the support in the world? Well, of course, I'd have 10 children. And then the other side, the economists would be like, well, it turns out the number of children in society is predictive of the success of that nation.
Right.
Okay, so why don't we have that as like a ESG score? Like, why don't we have how does this solution, how does this stock or whatever help with this number of children? Why is that never part of the thing? It's because it's not really a quarterly thing. It's more of a 20-year, 40-year. I'm only here for the 2035. Yeah, I got a yacht to be on. I love when I see those people, the same people on FinTwit who will rail against social injustice or whatever, will be like, and this is my this trade just paid for my third house. I don't really get there often, but I really love getting there. I really like when I get there or whatever. This one girl I follow, she started off with like, she was like nobody, and she was on the millennial beat, and she had some explanation as to what was going on with the GameStop and the meme stocks and all that sort of thing. And she's a programmer herself, and she's learning how to do the stuff, and she learned how to program to trade in such a way that she made like $1 million on one trade, and now she's like she's just in the 1%, let's say. And her tone has shifted. I was like, wow. Now I just watched it just to see this sort of like on her high horse and speaking about social issues. And she really, I'm sure she wouldn't put this to herself, but she really comes off as like, well, I proved my worth, the value of what I think and say, because I made $1 million or multiple millions of dollars on my trading. Like, it means that I'm smart and I know what I'm talking about. I can speak about these things. I can't be bothered in a soup kitchen or with the plebs, with the whatever. No. Like, I got a guy who does. I give to charity and I do my
right.
And the avatars change and the way the speaking has changed and the tone has changed. I was like, oh, this is very, very interesting. Which is also why I don't hold it against elites. I don't hold it against the elites at all. Because you make me an elite, I'm not worrying about any of this stuff. All of a sudden, Peter, the whole Zen Dao thing sort of makes sense. It's sort of like, well, you're not going to... Okay, so we agree we're not eliminating death. I mean, Ray Kurzweil and their ilk, let them get work on whatever they're working, but we're not getting rid of that. And it's whack-a-mole, right? And the more ability that you have, the more you can whack-a-mole, but that's exhausting, right? It's sort of like I was working on this one joke that when I only had $20 to my name and I would walk down the street, if there was a homeless person, I'd give him $10. And it was like so much to me because I knew I wouldn't be able to eat that much that week, but he would be able to eat. And it made me feel good. When I had $1,000 to my name, easily to my name, I'd give the homeless person $20. And I was like, that was the $20 I had in my wallet, but I gave it to them because I knew it would be good to them. And it, it was painful because I had to go to an ATM in order to get another $20. But hey, that's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't give it to every homeless person, but I would give it every once in a while $20. When I had $10,000 to my name, I'd give the homeless person $20, but I sort of be annoyed because I had several $20 in my wallet, and like if I just stopped walking on the street, then I wouldn't have to like deal with these homeless people. There was no reason for me not to give them the $20. So I drove a lot more, and kept my window up when homeless people come to the window, because like I can't be stopping and stopping traffic and dealing with the people, and they would recognize the car and they would come up and ask for money all the time, and that'd be an issue. And when $100,000, I wouldn't give $20 to anybody because I wouldn't see any homeless people. I definitely go out of my way to not see homeless people. The places where I was at, there were no homeless people. I never sought them out. I knew where they were, and I never did anything ever to go try to help a homeless person. What I did do was try to help somebody who had $1,000, I try to help a person with $1,000, and I'd give them some money because I think that makes me feel better. I'm just like, this is idea of like so if you have a billion, $1 billion, $10 billion, $50 billion, I go, if they're paying me any mind, I don't believe it. You could be the nicest person in the world. I don't believe it. Batman is out there kicking ass. He's not going around giving coins to homeless people. He's not doing that. He's too busy learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's not worried with any of that. But this
I'll
thing I
be
was joking about
damned
with
if I let that slander of Batman stand. All right, Batman has foundations and are helping a lot of people.
one of the things I've been telling Melissa, this it's sort of half joking, is this idea that there's a part of me that sort of really respects the global elites. Anyways, those who then take up the cause to try to remold society in what they believe is in their better image. Because, like just what we said before, I don't believe anyone's evil in that sense. I believe that whatever it is that they're deciding to do, for some reason, the incentives have made them do
Right.
this, and it could be a cancerous incentive, but they think they're doing the right thing,
Right.
and they're spending time talking about us. They're at Davos. They're putting out. They put out a video. You'll be own nothing and be happy, and you'll eat bugs. And they think to themselves, this is good. Like, this is hope and optimism. Like, they can't own anything. We have it. They can't own anything. And so, if we can make it so that they can be happy, if they know that we're working to make it so that they can, then maybe that might be good. And then the backlash. Oh my God, that's what they said. They take it back. Oh shit! I thought we were. Okay, that didn't work. Janet, we got to pull back. This bug thing is not working. We got to try something else. How about 15-minute cities? They keep complaining about their commutes and they have to worry about this and they're not sure what to do. So then let's just do that. Let's take away their commutes and make it so it's easy and they don't have to spend as much because we have everything. And it's going to be very expensive for them to do anything outside of that. So best to make it. Oh my God. There needs to be more resources in the world. So let's reduce the population to 2 billion. Because when it was 2 billion, they complained a lot less than they're complaining now. So let's just reduce it to 2 billion. And then it'll be easier.
Not by killing them, just by de-incentivizing having children, by
giving them food, making them lackadaisical, give them the internet. Or let's just do that.
And over time, we'll have less
God, there's no pleasing these people. There's no pleasing them. So they're sitting around thinking about us, and I am not sitting around thinking about how I can make a billionaire's life any easier, but they're trying to think about how to somehow make civilization better.
Maybe. Who knows?
And they're me from a different perspective. And all that is of existence, in the one thread path from one consciousness to the next, I will eventually be them and they will eventually be me.
So well, that's true and not true.
Yeah, it's always true.
You won't eventually be them.
Well, the way that the Shams explained it to me is that, yes, it's true you will, in the sense, well, I won't be them any more than I will be my 5-year-old self or that I'll be my 50-year-old self.
Correct.
But then I also am.
But not in any meaningful way that's satisfactory.
No, there is a state under which it would be a satisfactory, meaningful way. There is a concept in which that would occur.
You mean the God perspective?
Whatever. It's hard to articulate within a third dimensional view, but there is a experience of that threaded nature of it. But
not you. You will not experience that.
No,
you
I will.
Dimensional being.
No, I will always be your perspective. You, Peter, what your perspective is right now. You will always have this feeling like this, Peter. Always.
Well, yeah, but I'll never feel like I'm the billionaire.
You will feel like a billionaire who it's Peter who's put on a billionaire persona.
Yeah, but it won't.
It'll feel exactly the way
you're saying. You're saying that I'll always feel like me, but not this me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll feel like you, but not necessarily whatever the thing you're. But it'll always feel this way.
Will I feel the transition from this me to the other me?
You can, absolutely.
How so?
In one dimensional perspective, you can have that transition.
Okay, but not in this dimensional perspective.
Peter, no,
Correct.
but you, yes.
All right. Well, so
And the
yes
other
and
trippy
no,
thing, what
but
used
mostly
to
no.
bother me a lot was that because when I did those mushrooms when I was 22, that completely messed my mind up. Um, I was one with all things, and I felt that I would eventually not only, no matter what heights of joy I could ever reach, there would be infinite despair and darkness and suffering that I would experience as well. That there is no escaping that, and that's the nature of existence. And there's no suicide. There's nothing else that can get you out of
But you don't want to
the.
get out of it.
Well, I did want to get out of it because I said I never want to go and
No, I mean the real you, doesn't want to get out of that.
well, whatever it was, the Tom ego construct who was going through this experience,
Right.
and so I was incensed by it. And one of the great things that the Shams told me was that yes, it's inevitable that you will experience, in a sense, experience all things, but you can experience an infinite amount of time between that moment, this moment, and that moment. And so, in essence, you don't. It's a way of not experiencing it in the same way that we get to forget.
Right.
We can have this infinite delay between a thing, so you can never have the experience of having it in the sense of never having it, but when you do have it, you will have wanted to have it.
So do you think the ultimate truth is a tragedy or a comedy?
Comedy, because it's a revelation is inevitable, and that is what's at the root of comedy. So ultimately it is unbelievably hilarious.
I guess so. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Well, nice chatting with you, bro.
it's fun. See the conversations that Polytopia can lead to. That's why we're the number one Polytopia podcast on the planet.
Well, in terms of last words, if I never see you again,
Well,
I'll see you in the next life.
we're never doing another podcast. This is it. This is the
This is
final
it.
episode.
Final
Never
episode.
doing another one. This is it. It's
All
my
right.
last word. All right, let me end this.
Take care.